Why don't you listen when black people say it's time to run? It's time to run. Hey guys, it's your girl Alicia, aka Geek XX Chic, and we're back with another reaction to The Flash. We're now on to episode 13, which is called Masquerade. So if you are a returning subscriber, thanks so much for coming back. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy. The last episode of The Flash was, of course, the goodbye episode to Cisco and his character. Very sad in some respects, but as I talked about at length in the last episode, I am happy for the actor and hopefully he will be able to pursue all the wonderful things going forward. But I think in this particular episode, we're going to continue with the things that were brought in from the episode prior. One of the big ones being that Cecile seems to be being haunted or targeted by something that's able to connect with her psychically. And of course, the huge decision by the West Allens to decide to actively start having a child, or children as we might already know. So I am ready to see where the rest of this storyline is going to be headed. So we're going to jump into the episode. But before we do, you know the drill. If you've been here before and you like what you see, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you can be notified when I do more reactions to this show, as well as many other in the same vein. So hopefully you'll join the family. We would love to have you. That out of the way, guys, let's get into the episode right about now.
I'll be back in a couple hours.
I don't know that that's actually legal for him to just have that file, but... Uh-oh. Cecile, what are you doing? Is this you? I'm still confused. Oh no, it's not. Someone's taken over her mind. No! Are we really gonna go through one of the Allens? You know, well, I mean, this is a West, but we already had Iris trapped in a mirror dimension for like all of last season. Do we have to do this again?
Was I supposed to ask before?
Yes, MLK!
Look.
You got a brother now, you gotta get used to having some good music up in this place. You know why? Because we dance. Tupac too?
We have a replacement cable just like...
I don't believe it. The Flash is actually recognizing that black people are black.
I really did give us some good.
Our dance lesson shall commence. Our dance lesson shall commence.
He's so cute. This makes me a bit sad though, because I kind of wish that Carlos could have had the same, his character could have had the same ability to lean into his Latin heritage too. But anyway.
Yeah, what are you doing down
Hey, just heard. See?
What?
Cataloging.
Yeah.
See?
Cataloging.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bring a blue light up in there, that's all I'm saying.
Sorry about this.
Really?
You know, after everything that happened with the forces, Iris and I, we've decided to start trying. Yeah, no.
He's like, don't need the deets.
Nice, cool.
I'm not Cecile.
Duh.
Your mind belongs to me now. So just let's.
Well, thank God this happened before him and Iris started getting busy, because that would have been weird.
I would love to try, but guys, I'm just an empath. Okay. I'll give it a shot.
How do people not notice that this does not act like, I mean, again, we haven't seen a lot of Cecile, but even I can tell that she's not this like perky and like jumpy.
I can see something now. I can see something. It's like a light in the middle of all of that darkness. It's just shining.
That's not the way Cecile's powers have ever worked.
But we need the mask here to do that.
Do you?
It's too bad you can't just grab the mask from the museum, huh?
Since you took out a speedster, you dummy.
The last thing I remember, I was at home with Joe, and there was a storm.
Ah, so I was right. That blast wasn't from Psych.
Our storm was 2 weeks ago. And you've been in here this whole time all alone?
I don't think there's any way out of this place.
Then we have to make one.
Hell yeah! Stop breaking minds!
Because this one sounds like a doozy.
Oh, well, I guess she can stay on the show. I hope she's smart enough to realize this is some BS. Please.
No, it's way too risky. Look, I am a lawyer. I am not a cat burglar. There's no way I can pull that off.
Yes, you can.
This is so, like, not Cecile.
About that, is there anything about this whole situation that seems kind of,
Convenient?
I don't know, odd?
Yeah!
So I've done my homework. I've checked the math. Heck, this isn't even the first time I've helped save Barry's brain.
Why can people not
Flash just makes it look
just
easy.
listen?
We got this.
All you gotta do is listen. When somebody tells you something is off, listen. But I guess if she's managed to fool Joe for 2 weeks, clearly no one really knows Cecile. That's a problem. Oh, we're gonna have the famous Catherine Zeta-Jones move here.
What's that? It's okay. Come on.
Why is Cecile so hesitant? I'm trying to figure out if it's based on her feeling or just because she's been trapped in there for 2 weeks.
What the hell?
Is that Cecile?
Hello?
It's crazy, Cecile.
Are you okay?
Please forget her. We gotta get out of here.
That's all right.
Theory, why don't you listen when black people say it's time to run? It's time to run!
No, you.
Knew it was crazy, Cecile.
If we track her neurological signals,
And how about we let someone else come up with a plan for a change?
So Chester was just
Yikes!
Yeah, so was I.
really? I didn't know Jack.
I wouldn't go that far, but arrogance is not the trait of a true hero, my friend. You need to listen to the people around you.
We're at St. Carmine's Psychiatric Hospital just outside of Houston, Texas. Where I was a patient.
Tea! All right, Cecile, backstory time. Let's go.
She died all alone, Mary. She died alone because of me.
No, she wanted to. Unfortunately, as twisted as that is, that was her choice.
Most days I just wander those halls. I'd spend all night lying awake, staring at that ceiling, thinking about my mom. When I finally checked
Wow.
out, I was so
This deep dive into mental health is refreshing, actually.
afraid.
I'm never gonna know what it was like for you to go through all this. I know what it's like to lose a mom.
He does. And how crazy that makes you.
The masks don't heal wounds. They only hide them. Facing those wounds can be scary as hell. But it's the only way to start healing.
Barry giving the speeches instead of getting the speeches for once? Is this growth?
You can't.
The truth about my time here. But Barry, I'm thinking about it right now. Nothing's changing.
Are you sure about that?
You sure about that? I didn't come to Star Labs to replace Cisco. I came here to work with him. And I want to do a good job more than anything, but when I saw Barry in trouble today, Iris, I didn't even know where to start.
Yeah, that's you have to learn, boo. Cisco, Caitlin, they all learn trial by fire. Same for you, unfortunately. Let's go. You gotta face crazy you. Makeup dripping and everything. Punch her in the face, Cecile. Punch her in the face. Or she could just give her a hug. Maybe that's what she needs more than the violence. Never mind.
Your mommy dying alone in a hospital bed, calling out for her only daughter. Where is she? It's my sweet Cece.
Come on, Cecile.
You cracked once, and you will crack again. And you'll be a sucker.
This is crazy because this is so real to the issues that people with depression and mental health deal with. My mind, girl. Mine. Ain't nothing more powerful in this world than a black woman. You better step back.
Try and scare me, but I know exactly who I am, and I am done. You're the mask.
Woo! Yes, Cecile, let her know. No, not the superhero jump. And a sword. That was hot, Chester. That was hot. I ain't gonna lie. Sorry, that was such a black thing. Just like, twitch, I dare you. You better prove you, Cecile.
So,
I should probably go home and talk to Joe. Few things I should tell him. Tell Sue rain check.
Yeah.
It will help, because then he can be there for you.
You coming? With that being said, there is just this tiny thing that I wanted to talk to you both about.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up?
Don't have sex in my stuff.
You know, the next time you guys wanna.
That's actually very impressive, and I really like that they showed that because it is important. Even though we love Barry and Iris, they don't have the right to leave all of their love around Star Labs. That is a workplace, and they have a very nice apartment.
I know what it's like in our community. There's sometimes a shame in asking for help when it comes to mental health.
My man actually referenced the black community. I'm dying.
We need to start taking good care of ourselves. And that's just what you did.
Amen,
I
Joe.
apologize.
Keep preaching.
Just know that I will always be here.
Yo, this gold standard of black love we seeing right now. Barry and Iris, Cecile and Joe.
Together.
Top tier TV couples. Fight me.
Cecile, I think Kristen Kramer was working with the enemy.
Who's the enemy? Is there like some anti-meta association we don't know about? Kramer might have actually gotten a little bit more interesting as of right now. Okay, guys, that was the latest episode of The Flash, and actually it was unexpectedly really good. And okay, let me take that back. I shouldn't say unexpectedly. It's so outside of what we have seen on The Flash ever, and it was refreshingly good in its realness. Like, The Flash has always dealt with certain things like love and family and connection and the idea of building a different type of family when you don't have your biological parents around, or relationships and you know, some of the issues of meta versus non. But one of the things I've commented on numerous times with this show is that it's always kind of shied away from a lot of real world problems. And especially when Black Lightning came into took the stage as far as another CW show, and it dealt very realistically with other real world elements like race and gender and sexual identity and all those other things. It really, to me, highlighted how out of touch The Flash was with dealing with real world stuff. And I've also said that I don't think every show on the planet or on TV needs to deal with all the heavy stuff, because God knows there's a lot of heavy stuff and we don't need to always have it thrown into our faces when we're trying to sit down and relax. But the fact that both DC and the CW, when they started this show, said that they proactively and deliberately chose to make the West family black because they wanted to address the fact that there isn't enough representation in the comic book world and conversely in the superhero world. The fact that The Flash shied away from ever actually admitting, talking about, or addressing the fact that Joe and Iris were black, and then by extension anybody else who showed up, like why am I forgetting Iris's brother's name right now, but Kid Flash, and then now Cecile. It just, and then again, or Cisco being Latino, like it was like everyone just, it's like the whole purpose of the casting was lost. And again, you can celebrate and enjoy the wonderful, amazing aspects of someone's cultural heritage without making it a social commentary. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that they didn't necessarily want to make Flash the statement show for social justice and all these different ethical issues that are out there. I mean, we have Black Lightning that definitely delved into that, but the fact that they just didn't talk about it at all was a bit like, okay, so why are we diversity casting if we're not actually digging into the diversity? Yes, we knew that Singh was gay. Yes, we knew that Iris and Jess and Joe were Black. Yes, we knew that Cisco was Latin. Yes, we knew Camilla is Asian. But we never talked about it. We never celebrated the things that made those diversities good or why it added to the tapestry of the show. It's diversity casting is about more than just showing a different colored face or a different gender or a different, it's about actually highlighting why you're bringing them into the show and what they bring to the tapestry of the show. And if you don't do that, then why are you even bothering? That's my opinion. But again, hearing Joe actually say the words about our community and talking about the fact that they are Black is such a huge step for the Flash that I am so proud of them for doing it. And that dovetails into the other thing that I'm going to get into, which of course was the discussions around mental health and the perceptions around mental health, and especially on top of that in the Black community, and how it's still something that's evolving and has a really long way to go. I'm not going to go too deeply into it, but I love that the show really talked about how this is something that happens so much, not just in the Black community, but globally, that people deal with mental health issues. And sometimes those mental health issues are minor, and sometimes they are huge and they are crippling and debilitating. And not everybody is able to keep themselves from a breakdown or from going over the edge, as they say. And that is not, like we heard Cecile address the fact that unfortunately there's all these misconceptions around that, like that you're weak or that you're not capable or that there's something wrong with you because you couldn't handle it. And that's such, pardon my French, bullshit. Like, it just isn't true in any way, shape, or form. And there needs to be more open discussions and people seeing, like, a lot of the people who still watch The Flash are people who are younger. It's geared towards a younger demographic. And I want our next generation to see, unlike, my parents' generation and their parents' generation, where mental health wasn't even talked about and where it was shunned and looked down upon, we need to keep encouraging this dialogue and this openness around the fact that it's okay to not be okay, and that all of us struggle with different forms of mental health issues, whether it goes from depression all the way into things that are far more severe. It's natural for us to experience it, and if you are not able to self-manage it, which many of us are not, there's absolutely nothing wrong with reaching out for help, and you absolutely should. And her experience was a cautionary tale about not allowing this idea that you have to just deal with it and handle it. And because, as Barry very eloquently said, putting on a mask does not heal your wounds. Pretending that you are okay when you're not does not fix anything. It's just a mask, and that mask will fall apart at some point. And so the best way and the only way to deal with your trauma and your issues is to deal with them. And that might mean getting help. And in some cases, for some people, they might need to be institutionalized. They might need to get a deeper sense of help. But even if that happened to you, and in this case, Cecile having to be institutionalized for a while she dealt with her issues, there is no shame in that. And the fact that she felt like she had to keep that a secret and never tell anyone, and then of course that being this constant fear in the back of her head that, oh my God, what will happen if anyone ever finds out? Or what if I ever slip back into that? That loneliness and keeping that secret, as we saw, was eating her up inside, even though she didn't even realize it. And the mask brought that to the forefront. And that's why that scene at the end that was so powerful, with the mask saying all the things, all those sad, wrong but very powerful negative sayings that were clearly playing in Cecile's subconscious. They're so dangerous to us, and if we don't address them, if we don't find someone to talk to about it or find healthy ways to deal with it, those are the things that could eventually bring us down. And one of the things that helps, of course, is building a community. And you can only do that if you're honest with your experience and what you're dealing with. And that's what Cecile did in the end, talking to Joe, letting him know the truth about what happened to her in the past, and that she may always struggle with some issues around anxiety or depression, but if there are people around you who love you and believe in you, are aware of those things, then they can be people who can help you. If they see you slipping towards that place, they can be the ones that can help you come out of it, or at least alert you to the fact that you might be going in that direction and encourage you to get the kind of help that you need, right? So I love it. I love the messaging of this episode. I really hope that people were able to receive that in the spirit that I think the show was trying to deliver it, which is that we need to start destigmatizing mental health and mental health issues and those who have mental health issues, and start to see it as something that a lot of people deal with, and that it's okay to deal with it, and that there's no shame and there should be no judgment around it. I've talked a lot about that already. I'm going to leave it, but I think that was a really refreshing episode. Also, as I called out in the episode, Chester calling out boundaries on Barry and Iris. I love my booze. You know I love my booze, but he was so right in saying, excuse me, this is my lab. Please do not be doing these types of things at the office. Like, y'all can love. We love your love. If you love it, I like it. But can you please there's some things that don't belong at the workplace, and that's one of them. Is there anything that you thought was cool about it? Is there anything that really resonated with you? Please leave that in the comments below. You know I love reading them and getting involved in those conversations with you. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from this geeky face, please click subscribe. Until next time, see ya!